want to be a true leader for your team, enterprise, dog, horse, or child, detach from your agenda completely. I'm not saying to just go without any plan and chaos, but I'm suggesting to absolutely detach from your agenda, to see it as a suggestion to your team or animal, but not as a plan that you want to stick to, because in your head that's how you achieve the solution for your problem, or how you get to the next step, right? If you open yourself up to the idea that your agenda is just an idea, just a suggestion, right? You become so much more relaxed and open yourself up for other ideas, open yourself up for listening to others and to see what's actually happening, right? If you have your own agenda that you stick to, you kind of maybe even identify with that, you kind of start to defend it, right? Or you're not listening to someone else because what you have in your mind is so much more important, right? And that causes resistance in your animals, colleagues, team members, right? So what's beneficial for you to do, my suggestion, my experience, is take it as an idea, as a frame for your meeting, or a frame for your walk with your horse, right? But it might be that at a certain point there is your animal not wanting to go any further, right? Or your team member wanting to speak about something else. And when you're like, that's not so important right now, right? You kind of block it. And they like their energy builds up inside of them, and they start to reject you or to build resistance, right? Because you basically rejected them. So what you want to do is really look at it, like really look into it, not only see it and not only hear them, but look into them and listen to what they have to say, right? And then get them where they are and make them feel safe again, right? It's so much more authentic when you are like, hey, I'm having my idea here, my agenda. That's what you're coming up with now. And then you can be even like, hey, I got you with a team. I got you. What do you think about talking about it later and really figuring out what you have in mind, so we can then present it to the team in a structured way. So now we're really making the most of our time, or whatsoever. But really, like, take it from them, right? Take it off, so they have less pressure, less tension, and then they are themselves more free, more flexible, and that's where they are creative. That's also the place where communication is so much more effective, right? If you just try to kind of stick to your agenda, right? And then there's this team member who also has something to say, and then they're all only waiting for that buzzword to happen, so they can kind of say their text that no one is listening to. Then you start to say your text that you learned somewhere in a seminar or in a book, so you can get them back to the agenda, to the topic, right? And then someone else is like, raising a concern because now the other buzzword happened, right? And in the end, you're a bunch of people that are constantly in their minds thinking of, how can I say my text, drop my concern, like drop it and get it away from me, and they're not so super engaged, right? On the other hand, if you really achieve to create an atmosphere where people feel safe, listened to, right? People are sharing their ideas, and then there is so much less conflict also, because they are more relaxed and are able to respond to the colleagues, to the idea of the colleagues, rather than react, right? Oh, that's not my business, that's yours. Oh, that's not my task. Oh, whatever, right? But you didn't deliver. And, right? Last week we agreed on. And then once there is this stress and tension, and also there's this time pressure, and they start to justify a lot. They don't really want to take on the responsibility. There's so many destructive things happening around stressful meetings, and sticking to your agenda, attaching to your agenda, is the first step to make you stressed or to stress you out. So detach. See it as a proposal, as a frame, right? And then create also an atmosphere where people really are allowed to speak up or to speak at all, right? Speak up some so. But so make sure that they can really finish their work, right? Don't be impatient. Rather take those 2 more minutes to listen to someone who has a lot to say and really try to understand and also protect them from other people who are interrupting, right? And then the more you do it, the calmer it gets, the less you have to protect people, because when they're not in stress, they're not in fight flight, the brain is not in that I'm only thinking of myself because I have to survive, and I'm thinking of my project because if that is not finishing, I'm gonna die, or I'm not good enough, I'm not getting my validation, whatever, so my ego is gonna die, right? So once you create this safe space and they calm down, the communication will be so much healthier, productive. They will understand each other much better, right? And from my little experience of 10 years in a big IT project, it's not that people are not capable. It's not that people are not knowledgeable. It's not that they're not even motivated, really. It's these communication problems and this constant making other people wrong, or what's the English word? Like looking for the fault. Like it's your fault. It's all because of you, right? It doesn't really matter why things are the way that they are. As a leader, just make it very short and my bad. All my bad. Okay, now that there's no one to blame, could we just please focus on the solution, right? Or that was a bit provocative, I guess, because I'm still having some frustration in my system from 10 years on big IT projects. But hey guys, let's not talk about who to blame. If you like to blame someone, blame me. But hey, let's find a solution, right? That's better for all of us, because that's what we're here for. Solutions make us happy, right? The people picked up their jobs, whether it's IT project or any other project or any other work, right? They picked up that job because initially they liked it, and there was something that they felt good about doing, right? So yeah, if you can come take away something out of that video, just detach from your agenda. Also for the other areas of your life. Life is much more easier for you. You are much more at ease if you detach from how things need to be, right? So you can respond to your spouse, partner, children, animals, right? With animals, it's even clearer to see, right? Yesterday, the boards that I'm taking on walks to like build that trust. So later, once I have his back, I can get on his back. point he wouldn't move further. He was like, no. And I got frustrated a little bit, right? And I was like, I mean, I was doing everything to build that trust, and then I couldn't, and I was like, oh, come on, just like, let's go there. And at some point I stopped, and I was like, okay, I'm seeing you, let's reconnect again. And he was really like, that's the way he breathed, like he did breathing, breath. Um, so like horses are like magnificent animals. They are as communicative as we are, but they're not so much in their head, and they can't speak because they're prey animals, right? So what they do is they communicate with their whole body, with their breathing. So there are different breaths that mean different things, right? But every ear they use, like every like position of their feet, the way they hold their neck, the way they like the expression in their face, right? They have a face. We call it head, but they have a face. They communicate so much, and they can read your complete emotional structure. Because what horses want to do is to really stay balanced. So they're not stressed out, right? So they have the most awareness in the present moment about what's going on in the environment. Because as prey animals, it could be a lion or a mountain lion around the corner in every moment, right? It's fantastic, right? And if you don't listen to this and you reject their view, their view of their world in that moment, and you're just like dominating them, same with dogs. You don't want to move, like, let's go, right? They start to build a resistance, or they build coping mechanisms where they follow you because they have this like learned helplessness, where they just have learned that it doesn't make sense to kind of discuss with you, argue with you, because you find ways to dominate them, right? You make them, but there's like it destroys the trust, right? And with your team members or children or your partner, with every living being, you're interacting in that world. It's the same thing. Once you start suppressing their ideas, once you just want to go your way, my way or no way at all, right? You're really doing it at the cost of connection. And maybe you get validation or approval of other people, of your managers or so, of your whatever, because then whatever you achieved with that. But that's such a worldly conditioned feeling, really, and it's just giving you the next dopamine kick. And also, it's what you have learned to feel safe. This is how things have to go. So you're in that rat race, and you also are not free to step out. Okay, I'm trying to give it a positive outcome of this video. So in order to feel this love and connection and trust, oxytocin, what feels so good, and it's healthy and just gives you ease and these loving feelings throughout your whole day, right? Because you're also that way having harmony within yourself, right? You can see what other people want. You can then learn also to see what you want. That's what you have to learn first, basically. You can set your boundaries. You can stay in your bubbles and really make other people like stay in their bubbles. They're not allowed to cross your boundaries. And that's such a freeing life. And I really want to encourage you to kind of open you up for that perspective and see for yourself which paradigms, which attitude you want to go through life, and also think about, okay, if I do what I'm told by my authorities, whatever they are, or I'm really thinking for myself and thinking about this psychological safety and authenticity stuff, right? And what my life's gonna is looking like, right? If you do have a lot of conflicts, then right, you can't really solve them by controlling the outer environment. You can only solve them by really controlling yourself, so you can stay calm, right? If you start to control them, and you're like with the horse yesterday, my nervous system also, like, I was a bit annoyed, right? And that is reflected in other nervous systems, right? Because our nervous systems communicate subconsciously. Why is that? Because also, as we were at the risk of life because of some wolves, bears, whatever in the past, right? And our nervous systems are so sensitive, they just feel when there's tension around us, right? So when the horse is getting, my heart's starting to bump faster. When there are people around me with tension, my nervous system wants to adapt, because for the nervous system, like, I don't get it consciously, right? I really have to pay attention to what my nervous system is doing, because it's a subconscious automated process. Like, it's preparing you to go for a flight or a fight, but it's like sensing this danger, right? And when you're scared, people sense this, and then yeah, they reflect it back and stuff. And once you get calm, you can set your boundaries.